The night she cornered me by the kitchen counter, the music was too loud and the lights were too low for confessions, but she leaned in anyway and said, almost accusingly, "You're the reason I came tonight," and I knew, right then, that whatever this was would follow me long after the party ended. I hadn't planned to come. My friend Alex had begged me, insisting his parents' house would be packed with familiar faces and harmless nostalgia. I expected cheap beer, loud laughter, and an early exit. What I didn't expect was her, Maya, his older sister, home from out of town, a woman I remembered only in fragments, the quiet college girl who once borrowed my jacket during a rainstorm, the polite smile that lingered a second longer than necessary. Years had passed since then. Life had rearranged us into different versions of ourselves. Still, the moment she said my name, it felt like no time had passed at all. She didn't wait for me to answer. Her eyes searched my face as if looking for something lost. Around us, people cheered at a drinking game, someone spilled a drink, someone laughed too hard. But the air between us was tight and focused. "I almost didn't come," she said. I told myself it was stupid. "But then I heard you might be here." The honesty in her voice startled me. I'd spent years mastering the art of emotional distance, keeping things light, keeping things safe. This wasn't safe. This was a door opening that I'd carefully boarded shut. We stepped outside to escape the noise. The night was cool, the kind that sharpens your thoughts. She told me about her life, how she'd moved cities chasing a job that looked good on paper but felt empty in practice, how she'd dated people who were impressive but absent, how success had come with a quiet loneliness she didn't know how to admit. I listened, really listened, the way I always had when someone needed space to be honest. She smiled sadly and said, "You always did that. Made people feel seen." Then she added, softer, "You did that for me once." And I never forgot. I wanted to say something clever, something comforting. Instead, the truth slipped out. I told her I'd watched her from a distance back then, thinking she was too grown, too confident, too off limits. I told her I'd used timing as an excuse for fear. She laughed, not unkindly, and admitted she'd done the same. We stood there, two adults realizing how much courage youth had lacked. It felt fragile, like a bridge made of glass, beautiful, terrifying. The challenge came quietly, as challenges often do. Alex appeared at the door, looking from me to his sister, curiosity flickering across his face. The unspoken question hung heavy. What was this? What could it become without breaking something else? Maya noticed it too. She took a step back, drawing a line that hadn't existed seconds before. "I don't want to complicate things," she said. "I don't want to hurt anyone." The weight of responsibility settled between us. Feelings are easy, consequences are not. We went back inside, separately. The rest of the night passed in small, careful moments, glances across the room, almost smiles, the echo of what might be. When I left, she touched my arm and said, "I meant what I said." I nodded, unsure whether meaning was enough. The days that followed were restless. I replayed our conversation, questioned my intentions, measured my courage. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Maya. Simple. Honest. She wrote that she didn't want a fantasy or a secret, that she wanted clarity, even if it meant letting go. We met for coffee, daylight stripping away the romance and leaving only truth. We talked about boundaries, about Alex, about timing that finally felt right because we were willing to face it openly. The resolution wasn't fireworks, it was steadier than that. We told Alex together. There was surprise, yes, but also relief. He laughed and said he'd wondered when we'd stop circling each other. The permission mattered less than the transparency. It felt like choosing the harder, better path. Months later, I still think about that party, not as the night something dramatic happened, but as the night honesty interrupted routine. Maya and I didn't rush. We learned each other in ordinary moments, grocery aisles, late walks, quiet mornings. The inspiring part wasn't the romance, it was the courage to speak, to listen, to risk discomfort for something real. Because sometimes the reason someone comes to a party isn't the music or the memories. Sometimes it's the hope that the person who once saw you clearly still does, and that this time, you're brave enough to meet them halfway.